Hello and welcome back to another episode of Travel with John and Christine. In this episode we continue on our European travels and we head to the city of Rome in the centre and we stay there for a couple of days and have a look around. And then we hop on a plane and fly to Paris and spend a couple more days there looking around and enjoying all the sights and all the lovely things that we can see. We stayed right in the heart of town in a small hotel which was built at the end of the 17th century on Piazza de Pasquino. We had a tight set of stairs to get up to our room. On the piazza below our room, there were restaurants and a little bar. The temperature was quite warm, but we made the most of our time and we set out on foot to see some sights. We went into some beautiful churches. The lineup for the Pantheon was quite long, so we didn't go inside. The Pantheon is a former Roman temple since 609 was a Catholic church. It's built on the site of an earlier temple that was built in 27 BC but had burnt down. We continued our walk onto Piazza Venezia to see the magnificent monument to Vittorio Emanuele II with its statues, fountains, steps and columns. Not far from there is the ruins of the Roman Forum, including ruins of churches, temples, markets and squares dating back to the 8th century BC to AD 608. For centuries it was a centre of day-to-day life in Rome. Just down the road is the Colosseum, a large elliptical amphitheatre and the largest ancient amphitheatre ever built. Construction started in 69 to 79 AD and was completed in 80 AD. Built of travertine limestone, it was used for gladiatorial contests, for public spectacles and more, and could hold an estimated 50,000 to 80,000 spectators. Next on our journey we walked past the Quirinal Palace, one of the 3 official residences of the President of the Italian Republic. Then it was to the famous Trevi Fountain, an 18th century fountain, and legend holds that if visitors throw a coin into the fountain, they ensured a return to Rome. It is the termination point of one of Rome's ancient aqueducts. We continued our walk along the narrow streets, past bakeries and shops and restaurants, and onto the Fontana della Boccacia, which is at the foot of the Spanish Steps, the monumental stairway of 135 steps leading up to the Church of Santissima Trinité del Monte. We loved the food and drinks in Rome and enjoyed dining out on some authentic Italian cuisine. We spent more time walking down narrow streets, looking inside some amazing buildings and marvelling at the beautiful architecture. After 2 days were over, we went to the airport and caught a quick flight to Paris. We stayed in the edgy neighbourhood of Belleville in Paris. It was close to transport, and on our first night in Paris, we had tickets to go to the late show at the Moulin Rouge. Of course, John asked our usher if we could get some good seats as we were Aussies, and he came through with seats at the very front of the theatre. Someone was very pleased with himself. We watched the most amazing show with a bottle of champagne and then went to a pub afterwards. The next morning we got out early to visit some of the famous landmarks around Paris, starting at the Arc de Triomphe and then on to a pre-booked guided tour of the Eiffel Tower. We got a brief history of the tower before lining up to go up in a lift to the very top, with some amazing views of Paris below us. We were both a little bit nervous of the heights, but managed to get a real buzz out of the experience.
Loving it.
Oh yeah.
The top of the Eiffel Tower.
We even found the lift ride a little bit nerve-wracking. We stopped on level 1 for some refreshments and to enjoy the view before embarking on our next stage of discovery. We walked along the River Seine and then into a lovely cafe off the Champs-Élysées for a platter of French delicacies. We then walked some more, going past more lovely architecture, such as the Place de Concorde, established in 1772 and located at the river end of the Champs-Élysées. We continued walking to the Louvre, Paris's art museum, and looked at the beautiful buildings surrounding the famous glass pyramid the Louvre is well known for. We then took a long walk back to our hotel and stopped in for some cocktails before ending our day and our short stay in Paris. We really loved Paris and Rome, even though the temperature was quite warm and it was pretty crowded, but that's what you'd expect for summer in these amazing places. Please make sure you stay with us as we continue our travels over to the UK, where we stay in London and then further afield. Subscribe so you don't miss out on our next episode. Thanks for coming along with the journey with us, and we hope you'll join us next time.